happening, man? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, and I do hope you are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome to a video where I will be talking about Chelsea's two new Germanic sensations, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz. What do we think about them so far? How are they performing? What are the stats saying? What's the eye test saying? I want to get into all of that today. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing recently and helping Football Therapy grow to nearly 100,000 subscribers, man. I've had this channel for like 18 months or something. I don't know, actually. Something around that length. Anyway, man, I've been blown away by the support from you guys that you've given me. So thank you to everyone that's subscribed. And we are very, very close to 100,000 subscribers now. So that's exciting. Consider subscribing if you haven't and if you want to. Alright, let's get into it, man. So, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, both incredibly young, exciting, talented players. Timo Werner, at the age of 24 years old, is a proven gunman in Europe and the Champions League and the Bundesliga. He's got a couple of goals in the Premier League. He looks like, generally, he can fit right in with how the league goes. Chelsea got, Timo Werner for about £47 million approximately. It's to my understanding, or at least I think I remember it was just under £50 million. So that looks like an absolute steal. It was then, it remains the case now. And of course, Kai Havertz, a more sort of interesting, perhaps luxury signing. Chelsea had been looking at him for a little while, but he wasn't the most necessary cog in this new rebuild project at Chelsea Football Club. Of course, there's a changing of the guard, you know, Costa, Hazard, Pedro, Willian have all gone, and the new offensive players have to bed into this new age. But Chelsea saw an opportunity with Kai Havertz to just buy what is seemingly a world-class youngster that so many people around European football and beyond rate as one of these young players that could go on and become one of the world's best footballers. He's already done some magnificent stuff on the football pitch for Bayer Leverkusen and Germany, and Chelsea have seen small flashes of that already. He of course cost Chelsea in the region of £72 million, being their transfer record. But ultimately, if you could pick a player to spend that money on, you're looking at someone like Kai Havertz, who's 21 years old, who's already achieved so much in the game in terms of offensive output, and it makes a lot of sense. So, where are we at, man? Well, let's start off with Kai Havertz. How's he doing for Chelsea? He's been played quite a lot. He started 6 Premier League matches, played in 6. Of course, he scored a hat-trick against Barnsley in the League Cup and got an assist as well, which, you know, did him some confidence. He wasn't really celebrating it. He was like, yes, I'm out here. I'm here to score goals and assist goals. I'm not going to celebrate a hat-trick against Barnsley in the Cup. But he does look like he's ready to get going. The only problem is with Kai Havertz, has he got going? Well, it's of course difficult. You need to show some understanding of a 21-year-old, you know, young lad coming to a new country, new league, and adapting basically to a whole new way of life? You get what I'm saying? For me, out of the two, he looks like he struggled the most in terms of adapting with the speed and physicality of the Premier League, which is interesting because he's quite a tall lad, and I thought generally looking at him at Leverkusen he was quite physical, even though he's relatively lanky, but he does look like he's been rocked a little bit. If you look at the likes of Timo Werner, he doesn't care about the speed and physicality of the league, and maybe that's because Timo Werner's a few years older, I'm not so sure, but at times I look at Kai Havertz and I see a footballer that glides around the pitch, you know, gracefully, he moves like a car, he's got a beautiful left boot on him, and he can win aerial duels, and he can make runs into the box, you know, an all-round superstar in the making, but sometimes he gets bodied off the ball, and I wonder if it will take him a little while to get acclimatised to the Premier League, which you've got to afford this opportunity to the kid to, you know, get used to everything. But in comparison to Timo Werner, out of the two, Kai Havertz looks like he's struggling a little bit. With Timo Werner, although he hasn't set the world alight in terms of offensive numbers for a striker, he's got 2 Premier League goals, an assist, he's won 2 penalties, all in the Premier League, he scored that wonder goal against Tottenham in the Cup, you know, so really his numbers aren't actually that bad, but that's more impressive for me is he's making the runs into the channels, he's constantly looking to combine, he's good at one-touch football, like the combinational football, but he's always making the right runs. And here's something that might interest you. I've tweeted this out earlier. if you combine his expected goals and assists, that discounts penalties, he's actually outperforming his expected output. If that makes sense. Basically, he's scoring what you'd expect him to and slightly more in terms of feeding of scraps. Last season, when Tammy Abraham's missing chances, at the end of the season, that results in him underperforming his XG. Now, I know it's a small sample size already, but Timo Werner's outperformed. So he might not have got loads of goals, but the issue here is seemingly good service to him. Now, I think personally this is a systemic issue that will be ironed out over time as the players learn where each other are and how to find them. Hakim Ziyech, I think as he comes into the team, he'll be giving loads of service to Timo Werner and we can expect to see more goals. But these metrics, these numbers prove that really there's nothing wrong with what Timo Werner's doing. He's just needs the team to sort of serve him up a little bit more and will be in business. And the numbers prove that. And similarly with Kai Havertz, he too is outperforming his expected goals and assists. It's only by a little bit, but still it's important to note that they're not missing chances. They're not, wasting possession. Everything sort of needs to click around them and they all need to start functioning together better as a group. You feel me? The problem is, at the moment with Chelsea, are we just trying to get them all into a formation? Like, I do wonder the Frank Lampard 4-2-3-1. So say you have the back five that works so well, Chilwell, James, Zuma, Thiago Silva and Mendy in goal, and then you can pick whoever you want in the midfield, two in the double pivot, whoever we all think works best eventually, and then the four attackers with the three in behind Werner, Pulisic, Havertz and Ziyech. That's a superstar, mouth-watering lineup, that front four, but it's like playing FIFA when you just get everyone together, or rather, I should say, it's not like playing FIFA, just putting all your best players on the pitch at one time. That's what you're, of course, inclined to do. You want to put all the best players out there, but systemically, that might not work, or certainly might not work for some time. So you gotta, again, take that into account. Maybe a good player has to drop here, and a good player has to drop there to get this system working. You got to take that into account, especially a lot of people think Chelsea have played their best football in a 4-3-3, but then you bring in someone like Mason Mount as an attacking eight with Kai Havertz, you lose another attacker. Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult. But Chelsea, the powers that be above Frank Lampard would be like, look, do what you want, but we do have our record signing, Kai Havertz, 72 million, and I think you got to make it work. So maybe that's what Frank Lampard's looking at, building a team around what is a very talented youngster, but that comes with risk, especially early doors. The thing is, personally, I think Kai Havertz will be incredible, genuinely. I think he will become incredible, but how he does that on the pitch with who is surrounding him is yet to be seen, and it's yet to see if it works in this current setup. So we'll have to see what happens, but in terms of how they've both performed individually on the pitch, they're doing actually pretty well. They're outperforming their goals and assists from the expected perspective. Wow, that rhymed, kinda. But for me, someone like Kai Havertz does need to sort of just learn to deal with the Premier League's physicality a little bit more, and I think he's got all the tools to be a great success. Anyway, what do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on both these players. How do you think they've done so far this season? How well do you think they will do this season? Express yourself down into the comment sections below and I'll be reading them, man. I'll be there hanging out. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the content and consider subscribing if you haven't done so. A lot of you actually watch my videos every day and you're not subscribed. So it would help me if you did just click the button and, minimal effort, a lot of help for me. Consider it. Anyway, guys, enjoy the football. I'm out. See you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living. I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines. I rap through thought. Body bag the verse. Outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double, silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.